Hello and welcome to section 4. Here we're going to be looking at the final part of reading a analog clock face. We're going to be looking at minutes and also working out how to work out intervals of time using seconds. These are the smallest units of time that we'll be looking at in this key stage. All you need to know is that there are 60 seconds in a minute, just as there are 60 minutes in an hour. And just as with minutes, seconds run in a cycle. So when you reach 60, you go all the way back to the beginning and start again at 1. Let's have a look at the digital workbook, have a look at the clock face, and then we'll explore how that we can convert seconds into minutes and minutes into seconds. It's a really important skill that we'll be using throughout the rest of this module. So let's start with minutes. We've got our clock face here and we're just going to look at it in a little bit more detail than we have done before. Up until now we've only looked at the numbers around the clock face. If a hand has been pointing in between numbers, or if it's a minute hand, we haven't encountered that before. If it's the hour hand, we know that it's on its journey in between the hours. But let's focus on the minute hand. As you can see, in between each large cardinal number, there are sections, little segments, 4 in fact, in between each. So those are the 4 minutes that are in the interval. Remember, interval means space in between. They're the interval in between our 5-minute sections. So if we look here, if I move my minute hand to this position in between the 1 and the 2, we know that the minutes 1 stands for 1 lot of 5 minutes, that's 5, and 2 stands for 2 times 5, which is 10. Now our minute hand is somewhere in between 5 and 10, so we are in between 5 and 10 minutes. We've got 5, could be 6, 7, 8, 9 or 10. Those little segments there, those little division lines will tell us which of the minutes it is. So we're looking there and it's 2 segments past the 5, so that's, we've got our 5, segment 1 will be 6, segment 2 is 7, so it's actually 7 minutes past the hour. All you need to do is read those segments, look at the cardinal number that is before it and count that many numbers on from the cardinal number. So let's have another example here. Let's spin our minute hand round here to in between 10 and 11. So 10 times 5 is 50, 11 times 5 is 55, so we're somewhere in between the 50 and the 55 minute period. Our minute hand is pointing to the 4th segment after the 10, so that's 4 numbers after past 50, 51, 52, 53, 54. So it's 54 minutes past the hour, or if we wanted to calculate how many minutes to, we would just count on how many minutes to. That would be 1 to 55 and then 5. 1 plus 5 is 6, so it's 6 minutes to the hour. And that's all there is to telling the time in minutes using an analog clock. You look at where the minute hand, it will be positioned in between 2 cardinal numbers, 2 numbers. You look at the smaller of those 2 numbers and then you add to that number the number of segments that the minute hand has gone past that. So if it's gone 1 segment past, you add 1 to the number, 2 segment past 2, 3, 4. Simple as that. The other key skill we need to learn in this section is to be able to convert between minutes and seconds on their own. Sometimes an event will be timed in seconds. However, if it lasts longer than 60 seconds, it's longer than a minute. Those seconds will be added on and we need to convert them back into minutes and seconds so that we can tell the time accurately. To do that, we're going to do it in a cycle. We're going to use every 60 seconds as 1 minute, and then anything extra, anything after that, we add on in seconds to that minute. Let me show you what I mean by going back to the digital workbook. So here I have a time of 93 seconds. What is that in minutes and seconds? It's obviously larger than 1 minute because 1 minute is 60 seconds and that is larger, greater than 60. So we need to work out how many minutes there are, and what is left over will be the seconds. So to simply do that, I just take away 60, leaving 33. That is now fewer than a minute. So I know I have 1 minute, which is 60 seconds, and 33 seconds left over. So 93 seconds converts to 1 minute and 33 seconds. Let's have a look at another one. I'm going to go for 143 seconds. So I've timed something, it's taken 143 seconds. I need to know what that is in minutes and seconds so it can make sense to me. So again, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take away 60. That will leave me with 83 seconds. Now that is still larger than 1 minute. I still have another minute to go. So I can take another lot of 60 off, which I will do. That will leave me with 23 seconds. So here I have 2 minutes because I've taken away 2 lots of 60 and 23 seconds. That's how you can convert seconds to minutes. To do the opposite, to convert minutes and seconds into seconds, you just need to reverse the procedure. So let's have a quick look at how we do that. So here I have 1 minute and 12 seconds. I need to know how many seconds that is, so I'm going to reverse the procedure. Instead of taking away, I'm going to add. So I've got 1 minute, I know that's 60 seconds, and I've got an additional 12 seconds to add. So that's 60 plus 12, which gives me 72. So 1 minute, 12 seconds converts to 72 seconds. It's quite simple maths if you're learning to convert between minutes and seconds. The same thing can be done between minutes and hours. It's the same process because it's lots of 60, remember. So now we can tell the time to the tiniest of intervals, from seconds to minutes to hours. And we know by looking at the time of day, by working out from our surroundings, whether it's in the morning or the evening and the afternoon. However, there is another way of telling the time that we need to know. A time that is far more accurate if you need to tell someone where you're going to be. We're going to use a 24-hour clock. We've spent all our time learning how to use an analog clock because that has given us the knowledge of how time works, how it progresses. Now we're going to move into the more digital age and look at a 24-hour clock, which allows us to be super accurate if we need to communicate to someone who we might be having communication difficulties with. Maybe they speak a foreign language, maybe there's a difficulty in how we are communicating with them. We're going to learn how to tell the time using 24-hour notation. So we'll have a look at that in section 5. I'll see you there.